Hello traders, welcome to session 164. My game plan for this video has just changed. That is, I've just fired off 3 trades for 3 wins, and I just thought it'd be a really good video to show you live. I've just executed those trades. I've recorded it as well, so let me give you a bit of background as we get into this. But I'm going to be showing you in today's video, I was going to be showing you a 2-tick trading session, but today I'll show you a 1-tick on the ES trading session. Now this is actually from a few days ago, which I'll explain in a moment before we go to today's session. But first of all, let me get this over and done with. My target is $1,000 a day plus, and of course in today's session I'll be teaching you how to do that. Now I was, as I mentioned, about to show you the 2-tick. Now all of my videos are raw, real, and unedited, meaning I thought I may as well just show you this, because in that session I actually had 6 trades for 5 wins and 1 break even. Now what you'll see is when I trade the 2-tick, I have a larger target per contract. That is, I go for a minimum of 325 per contract, compared to $200 per contract on the 1-tick. Now this ended up being a great day. There's actually 6 trades taken, really profitable. But just before I started recording, I then fired these trades off. And I also hit record, and I thought, you know what, let me cover today's session so you can see it's brand new and fresh. So before we get to that, let me just make sure that small advertisement very quick, that you download my free ebook, the truth about day trading. You'll also see I use a number of spreadsheets, which I'll show you in a moment. You can also go to the description link below and download a copy of those as well. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be kept up to date with all of my most recent videos, and better still, come and join me. Everything I'm about to show you here for $297, all of my setups, the PowerPoints, my indicators, indicator settings. That is, you might be using a trading platform I don't use, but I give you my indicator settings so you can basically replicate what I do on any good trading platform. There's over 200 hours of training. I mentioned there's 35 PowerPoints. I probably have the most comprehensive members website globally for scalpers and day traders. There are dozens of setups, PowerPoints, videos, diagrams, chart screenshots, you name it, it's there. And make sure when you do join, by the way, you watch the welcome video. Now on top of that, traders, I also run a live trading room. As of April 7th 2026, I have 294 members, and of the coaching program I've got 315 members in the coaching program. And what that means to you is I'll also include 1 month free in my coaching program. So for 1 month you can attend 8 live 2-hour sessions. They are recorded if you can't make it, and you have lifetime access to the members area. All of that for $297. Description link below. I mentioned I've got how many, 300 odd in the coaching session. I won't go into it, but there's a heap of handouts in every session. There's additional handouts you receive. Now, not to overwhelm you, in fact, what I'm about to show you today you could do just with one of my key setups. Okay, so what you want to be trend trading, but I'll explain that when I get to the charts. Now, very important thing on my philosophy when it comes to trading, I believe in just get on base. Don't worry about the home run. Don't worry about going for those 20 to 30 tick moves, particularly if you're a new trader. Get on base, get in, get out, get paid. Okay, that's what it's all about, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now let me show you these first of all. Now in today's session, and let's go to this one, I'm mainly focused on if I'm trading a 1-tick, and just a word on the 1-tick. You can only trade the 1-tick Renko chart during the Globex session, that is after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's just too fast during the New York time, and in fact at the moment we've got the Iran war on, stalemate at the moment. Who knows when it's going to start? So for a few weeks there, the one tick was not tradable. Also, it was just too fast. So you increase the time frame up to a 2, a 3, or a 4 tick. So for those that are saying one tick, you can't trade that during the New York session, absolutely right. You be trading a 3 or 4 tick, and that then comes down to the amount of capital required. Okay, now with this you can either trade a micro, which instead of $12.50 a tick, it's $1.25, or you can trade with a prop firm. There's so many out there, and there's some really good ones where you're doing an 80-20 profit share with them, and they provide the capital. Now what's important, what I'm about to show you here now, well, as I mentioned, we'll go to the live charts, but down here, 6-step scalp to net $200 a day. After any losses, I need 3 net trades a day. And once again, better explain when I get to the charts. But what that means mathematically, within 12 weeks, potentially, and legally I've got to say that on $200 a day, you're trading 11 contracts. Basically you've got a $10,000 a week income. 15 weeks, 20,000 a week. That is the true potential. Now before you say, oh, just not possible, wait and see. Now how this compound table works, and this is the one you can download along with a description, a little video on how to actually use it, is we only start trading an additional contract each time we double our money. So when we've gone from 4,000 to 8,000, we start trading an additional contract. Now what we can see here is 3 6-tick scalps. We're there now. Say if you decide, like I do quite often, and you'll see it probably in 2 of the screenshots I'm about to show you, I might sometimes break my rules a little and go for another trade. That is, I'm very much about POQ, the power of quitting. Hit your target for the day and stop. But occasionally I might see a golden setup, and I'll jump in on that. So at $2.50 a day, look where you are in 9 weeks, and within 12 weeks potentially. And for the young guns here that decide to go for say 5 6-step scalps a day, you're there within 8 weeks, and 10 grand a week, 25,000 a week within 10 weeks. You're trading the market's money. Now then, if we get down to the setups here, you need basically 5 6-step scalps. Can you get that many? You be the judge in a moment when I show you this. So if we now go to this chart here, so this is from last week. Okay, so I had 3 from 3. My target, as you'll always see, is $200 a day on the 1 tick, $325 a day on the 2 tick. Greater amount of capital per contract I'm trading. So a nice winner, nice reversal, nice winner. And as it was setting up, and I've got a recording, I'm going to actually do a separate video at some stage. I'm that far behind on recording videos, but there I typed that in, and yes, sure enough, it then set up. Now a little further along, I then could not help this one here, not this one. There was some beautiful setups on the way through, but then I took this 1D off the high of day. That means I had divergence on an even higher time frame. Then the next day we had this. Okay, so this is the very next day. I then had trade there. Once again, $200 a day per contract. You're only after 16 ticks. Makes you a lot of money. And that's the thing, is greed kills. It's usually lack of discipline, lack of patience, very poor money management skills. Is that you're running a business, and most of all, and most importantly, you are a funds manager. You're managing your own capital. Now sometimes we all do dumb things like there. I took this trade, and I actually have got this recorded, and seriously, it was, can I swear, and I said it in the video last week, a brain fart. It really was. Anyway, eventually down here I had 4 trades, 3 wins, 1 loss. Put me up. Now did I have, I just can't remember here whether I then had another trade here, and I've got a feeling yes I did. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, 4 out of 5, and here is another divergence trade. Now traders, I've been day trading now for 28 years, and so I'm pretty good at the divergence trades, but I recommend to all new traders, stay right away from divergence trading. Stick with trading with the trend. Now here today, and I go to a separate window because I had an indicator on that window that I've just removed, something I was testing. So we'll go to this one, this other live trading session, and this is the one where I'll play back the recording now. So if we look at this, so this is where the market is right now. What I want you to notice is see the arrows. Okay, that's my turning point indicator, and see the white paint bars, that's my super scalper. We actually have 3 different types of entries that we can take, and all of my setups, and even see that just there, and I'm just looking at a higher time frame, that within itself is a plain vanilla pattern. And let me just look over here at another screen. I've got to show you this, just one moment. I want to show you this pattern. Here we are here, that's what we're looking at. Now note the black line. Now I'm not going to give you my total secret recipe, and I shouldn't really call it that because, you know, once again, Gann famously said there's nothing new under the sun. However, there are some things after 28 years I have discovered, and one of them is this. Look at this bounce. Look at this bounce. Now I call this a double top T7 double divergence, and off a higher time frame moving average. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a loaded trade. It increases your probabilities incredibly. See this here, see how I bounce off these major EMAs day in, day out. So what we're looking for, traders, is patterns, and I've discovered that there's a number of patterns that just repeat day in, day out. Now we did have a potential loss just here, and that, when I say a potential loss, a couple of things there why we may not have taken it, but if we did, we were stopped straight after. For members watching this, you had a money on the floor trade, a T10 just there. But let's just go back and look at these setups, and we'll hit record, not record but playback, and I'll show you these are just plain vanilla setups. So let's play the recording, and I'll explain this as we go. So I've gone short. Now first of all, when I'm trading the 1 tick, I have a maximum stop of 6 ticks. Okay, so very important, we never ever risk more than 2% in a trade. Now there are some rules that can be broken at times. I won't dive into that right now. Now your broker will say, look, you only need $500 to $1,000 to day trade the ES. That may be true, but if you've got a 6 tick loss, that's $75 plus your commission, so say $80. Okay, what's 2% of $4,000? That is $80. Traders, break your money management rules and you'll probably never make it as a trader. Now here I've kept my 6 tick stop in place. Usually I'll bring it down and just have it just one tick above, and I like to see my stop, by the way, traders, 1 tick above a swing or below. Now that little cyan line down there, or magenta, sorry, magenta, that's the low of day, and you can see down here my target, which is 6 ticks. That is the S1 Camarilla pivot. We tend to bounce, see up here, you're bouncing off pivots. Pivots, once you're taught how to use them, they kick butt every day, day in, day out. Now A lot of traders don't use pivots and they find them confusing, but once you see them in action and after an hour or two of training, you'll remember. It's a bit like learning. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you can get on it 40-50 years later. Might be a bit wobbly, but you can still ride it. Now normally once I hit +5, I go to break even. I don't want to turn what was a winning trade into a losing trade, because what you'll find on the ES quite often, we get a lot of 4 to 6 tick moves, so I don't want to give that back. If I'm trading a higher time frame, I'm after generally a minimum of 8 ticks in a move. But here we just waiting, so I'm just typing here $200 a day per contract as per the other last couple of days I showed you. Okay, max stop I'll probably say here is 6 ticks. Now I'm out of that trade. Now here and I can see already this is going to be, and I can remember because it was an hour ago, this is going to be what we call a 2D pivot bounce. And divergence trades, your best divergence trades come off pivots, okay, or T3s, which are or slingshot trades off pivots. So you can see here on the entry chart, this is actually a customized zero lag MACD, and I call it the MACD Platinum. Now see how I've put a buy order there. So I'm waiting for a specific thing to happen on the anchor chart 1. Okay, so I'm waiting for something to happen on the anchor chart 1. Mechanical, it's rules based, and it gives me the exact entry point. So we just start waiting here for that. So I've just got here, it's a 2D. It's not quite a 2D because it hasn't qualified yet. Now notice what I'm doing there. I'm looking under this price point to see where the next level of pivots are. Okay, so now we're filled. I have a 6 tick target. So my stop, you can see here, is 1 tick below the swing, 1 tick below the pivot. Pivots, by the way, they're a range. They're not an exact point. Mathematically they are, but as far as price action goes, you can sort of bounce 1 or 2 ticks on either side, go through it by a couple of ticks. So I might just move this along. Okay, so remember I'm targeting P. Now this is actually a counter trend trade, and this is something that I recommend all new traders stay away from initially. Okay, because it's very easy to get fixated on counter trend trading and miss out on some really good trend trades. Now the black arrows, we're in on the next entry for a short. You're in on the next candle, I should say. The white candles, you're in on the next one to go long. And there's a few other things. Once again, if it was that simple, everybody would be doing it, but this is not difficult. It's a matter of following the rules. That's all I'm doing. This is a set pattern. That trade there was a pattern. What I'm looking at doing here is a pattern. I've gone the break even, I hit +5, I've gone the break even +1. Now I'm a lot more sensitive, and that is I place a lot more urgency on going to break even when I've got a counter trend trade. Why? Because we're much more likely to be stopped out of a CT trade. So here we just patiently waiting. Okay, and bang, we're filled. Thank you very much. Now this is where I always expecting another trade entry. Here just note lower low, lower high off the high here. I'm front running the pivot. Now I've got an exact 6 tick exit here. Now that is 1 tick above the low. Now usually when we come down to the low, we'll usually push through by a couple of ticks. However, I only need one more trade and I've hit my target for the day. Trading is also about lifestyle. Okay, so I like to get in, get out, POQ, power of quitting, we call it. Just move this along a little faster, traders, as sometimes we'll sit there for 10-15 minutes. Now by the time it's now I'm recording this, by the way, at now this is a T10 for members watching. This is now 1:21 a.m. Central Standard Time, so in 40 minutes we've got the London open. Now relax, you don't have to sit up and trade at this hour, 6 p.m. Eastern. You get home from work. Most of my members, by the way, in the US, you get home from work at 6 p.m. have some dinner, then you can start trading. So it can be quite slow about really for the hour before the London Open. It really picks up, but then it can slow down for a little while. But one thing on the ES, and why the ES, great liquidity, where with say the Russell or some other markets, even oil, you have much lower volume during the Globex session, still very tradable and a great option for those that still are holding down a job while they master the art of day trading. So we'll just move this along. Now just there, just get on base. You don't have to go for the home runs to get wealthy trading. Yes, in time you might take some off at 6 ticks and trail the rest. I prefer just to get in, get out. I find it less stressful. But once again, the higher the time frame I'm trading, the larger the target. So now we're out. Are we going to be able to push through this low? So you can see here I could have easily got another tick or two out of this and easily got another 3 ticks. So you'll find when you come down to the low of day or go up to the high of day, we usually will push through. So gross to 22.50 before commissions, that's after commissions. So and not long after that, there was that setup there. Then there was one here. Now this particular setup only hit +5, so that only hit +5 ticks. And where was that? Yeah, so that was the low of day. Now it did punch through. We sold straight into the low of day and it did punch through another 3 ticks. Then you had a couple of other potential entries. All of these I've marked up, traders, are genuine entries everyone should be picking. Now I just want, whoops, wrong one. Just a matter of interest, just on, okay, past 50%. So you've got, now does Fibonacci play a big role in my trading? No, it doesn't. However, if you've got a key Fibonacci level or swing point and a potential entry, or if you're not 100% on taking a trade, if you find you've got a fib level there, it's a bonus. Now I want you to remember the term follow the gold. See the gold EMA just there? So following the gold, you can see here 1 2 3 4 5, that only touched 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6 again. Now I will say this, when you, and on that lower candle there, I know they're bricks when they're Renkos, but I just call them candles. There was 80 contracts traded on that little 1 tick candle there. And so once again, when we hit 5, we go to break even. Now you may, and you'll have a hell of a lot more, by the way, 5 tick trades and what you will have 6, for an example. Now if you go for 4 5 tick trades rather than 6, okay, you've got to go for one more, slightly easier to achieve, you've hit your target. We go over, still sticking to the 1 tick, if we go over here to at 250 a day, that's basically 5 trades a day to hit our target. Now what about this just here, and what I'm looking at, everyone, if you're wondering how come I'm looking over, you had a potential entry there, and I'm just looking at, there's a couple of reasons why we may not have taken that trade. If we did, we were just stopped and we had straight away another winner. Now if we get stopped here, what would my stop be? 6 ticks plus commission. Okay, and the reason I say we may have been stopped, looking over at the anchor chart 1, it's a look, I would say I would have taken the trade and I would have been stopped straight back in straight away on the next setup. In fact, we call this a bet the farm trade just there. So traders, the opportunity for making money in what we do is massive. It's not rocket science. It's about learning the patterns, learning your trade execution, where to enter, where to exit. And it's so critical that you have a rules-based strategy that you trade patterns. Now, as I mentioned in my day trading program and scalping program, you get to see me give rundowns on trades every day. In the coaching room, I'm explaining trades as they set up. I'm explaining trades of a day, money management, psychology of trading, and a whole lot more. Come and join me. $297 lifetime access, and I'll see you in one of my classes. Thank you, traders.